Listen to me. There comes a time in life when you got to stop holding on to what's hurting you and start reaching for what's ahead. Some of y'all are stuck way down, chained up because you won't let go of what's been killing you on the inside. You hold on to that pain, that betrayal, that failure like it's a trophy, but it's not. It's a trap. And as long as you keep carrying it, you'll never be free to walk into the blessing that's waiting for you. See, life ain't about who hurt you, who left you, who doubted you. It's about what you decide to do with it. Some of y'all still crying over doors that closed 5 years ago. You're still angry at people who ain't even thinking about you no more. But here's the truth. When you let go, you level up. You got to understand that letting go is a blessing. It's not losing. It's not quitting. It's saying, I refuse to let my past define my future. Every moment you spend reliving that pain, you're missing out on the joy that's trying to find you. You want peace? Let go. You want success? Let go. You want to grow? Let go. Listen to me. When you empty your hands of the things that no longer serve you, you make space for something greater, new opportunities, new relationships, new blessings. But you got to release what's behind you so you can grab hold of what's ahead. I know it's hard. I know it hurts, but holding on to the past ain't going to change it. What will change it is when you decide to stand up, shake off the weight, and step into your purpose. Because on the other side of letting go is freedom. On the other side of letting go is power. And on the other side of letting go is the life you were meant to live. So make a decision today. Stop carrying dead weight. Stop dragging pain into your future. Stop letting the past steal your joy. Let it go and watch how your life changes. Too many people go through life believing that if they let something go, they are giving up, failing, or losing something valuable. But the truth is, letting go is not about losing. It's about choosing. It's about making a conscious decision to release what no longer serves you, what no longer helps you grow, and what is keeping you from moving forward. When you hold on to something out of fear, resentment, or comfort, you're not protecting yourself, you're imprisoning yourself. You're keeping yourself tied to something that no longer benefits your future. Think about it. How many times have you held on to something just because you were afraid of what life would be like without it? Maybe it was a relationship that drained you, but you stayed because you feared being alone. Maybe it was a job that made you miserable, but you stayed because you feared uncertainty. Maybe it was a grudge that consumed you, but you held on to it because you felt like forgiving meant letting someone off the hook. But the reality is, every time you refuse to let go, you make a choice to stay stuck. You choose pain over healing. You choose fear over faith. You choose to remain the same instead of stepping into something greater. Letting go is not weakness, it's not failure, it's strength, it's wisdom, it's courage. It takes power to walk away from what's comfortable but toxic. It takes maturity to say, I deserve better, and actually mean it. It takes faith to trust that something better is ahead, even when you can't see it yet. Too often, we convince ourselves that letting go is giving up. But giving up is when you stop trying, when you stop believing, when you stop pushing forward. Letting go is the opposite, the act of moving forward, of freeing yourself from the weight that's holding you down. Some people don't realize that holding on is actually what's hurting them. You can hold on to a rope so tight that it burns your hands. You can grip something so hard that it starts to hurt you more than it helps you. And that's what happens when you refuse to let go of the things, people, or mindsets that no longer serve you. The pain you feel isn't from the loss, it's from the resistance. It's from the refusal to release what is already trying to leave your life. Letting go requires a shift in mindset. Instead of seeing it as a loss, you have to see it as an opportunity. Every time you let go of something that is not aligned with your growth, you make space for something better. You create room for new opportunities, new relationships, new blessings, and new levels of success. But you can't receive anything new if your hands are still full of the old. You can't step into the next chapter of your life if you're still rereading the last one. People often ask, but what if I regret letting go? And my answer is always this. If something is meant for you, it will find its way back. But if it's not, you'll eventually realize that letting it go was the best decision you ever made. Regret comes from looking at the past with a mindset that hasn't grown yet. What you think you need now may not be what you actually need once you start stepping into the person you're meant to be. Growth changes your perspective. Growth makes you see things differently. And once you grow, you'll wonder why you ever held on to something that was holding you back in the first place. The key to letting go is trust. You have to trust that something greater is ahead. You have to trust that the pain of release is temporary, but the reward of freedom is permanent. You have to trust that choosing yourself, choosing peace, choosing your future will always be worth it. The discomfort you feel when you let go is not a sign that you made a mistake. It's a sign that you're stepping into a new season. And new seasons always come with growing pains. Sometimes people stay in situations that no longer serve them because they're waiting for the perfect time to leave. They tell themselves, I'll let go when I feel ready. I'll move on when it doesn't hurt anymore. Or I'll release this when I know for sure what's next. But waiting for the perfect moment is just another way of delaying your growth. The truth is, you may never feel completely ready. You may never have all the answers. You may never know exactly what's ahead. But letting go isn't about having all the details. It's about having the courage to step forward even when you don't. When you choose to let go, you are choosing yourself. You are choosing your peace, your happiness, and your future over the weight of the past. You are making a decision to no longer be bound by what was, but to walk boldly into what is to come. And that decision, that choice is what will separate those who remain stuck from those who rise. Too many people live their lives looking in the rearview mirror, replaying the past, reliving old pain, and holding on to things that no longer serve them. They don't realize that by doing this, they are keeping themselves from the blessings that are meant for them. You cannot move forward if you are constantly looking back. You cannot step into your next season if you are still holding on to what was. The past is a lesson, not a destination, but some people choose to stay there, trapped by their memories, their regrets, and their disappointment. Think about how much energy it takes to hold on to something, whether it's anger, resentment, heartbreak, or even nostalgia for a time that is past. It requires effort, it drains you, it weighs you down. And when you are carrying all of that weight, how can you possibly receive what is meant for you? Imagine someone trying to run a race with a heavy backpack full of bricks. Every step is harder. Every movement is slower. And at some point, they will get exhausted. That's exactly what happens when you hold on to the past. You are carrying unnecessary weight that makes it impossible for you to move forward at the speed you were meant to. Blessings are all around you, but if you are too focused on the past, you won't see them. You won't recognize opportunities because you are too busy looking at what you lost. You won't appreciate new relationships because you are still comparing them to the ones that hurt you. You won't embrace change because you are too attached to the way things used to be. Your future is trying to get your attention, but you are too distracted by what is behind you. The sad truth is that some people miss out on their best years because they refuse to let go of the past. They spend so much time grieving over what didn't work out that they don't realize something better is waiting for them. Many people believe that holding on gives them control, but in reality, it keeps them stuck. They think that if they keep replaying the situation, analyzing what went wrong, or holding on to anger, somehow they will find closure. But the only thing that truly brings closure is acceptance. You have to accept that some things happened the way they did for a reason. Some people left because they were never meant to stay. Some opportunities didn't work out because they were not aligned with your purpose. Some doors closed because they were not leading you to where you were meant to be. The moment you accept this, you free yourself. There are people who hold on to pain as if it defines them. They wear their wounds like a badge of honor, believing that if they let go, they will lose a part of themselves. But you are not your pain. You are not your past. You are not the mistakes you made or the things that happened to you. Your identity is not in what hurt you. It is in how you rise from it. Holding on does not make you stronger. It does not make you wiser. What makes you stronger is the ability to release what no longer serves you and trust that better things are coming. People often hold on to resentment because they think it punishes the person who hurt them. But holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. The only person it affects is you. It keeps you bitter. It keeps you angry. It keeps you from experiencing peace. The longer you hold on to that resentment, the more space it takes up in your mind and heart. And the more space it takes up, the less room you have for joy, love, and success. Forgiveness is not about letting someone off the hook. It is about freeing yourself from the prison of the past so that you can step into the blessings of the future. Some people hold on to their past failures as if they define their future potential. They believe that because they failed once, they will fail again. They let past mistakes convince them that they are not worthy of success. But failure is not a life sentence. Just because you fell before does not mean you cannot rise again. Every successful person has failed. Every great leader has made mistakes. The difference is that they did not let their past failures stop them from moving forward. They learned from them, they grew from them, and they used them as stepping stones to something greater. Sometimes people hold on to relationships that have run their course because they are afraid of being alone. They stay in situations that no longer bring them happiness because they are afraid of change. But when you hold on to something that is no longer meant for you, you block what is. You cannot receive the love you deserve if you are still clinging to a love that is toxic. You cannot step into the next chapter of your life if you are still rereading the last one. Every time you hold on to what is not meant for you, you delay what is. Every time you refuse to release something that is no longer serving you, you prolong your own suffering. Letting go is not easy. It requires faith, it requires trust, it requires strength. But the moment you decide to release the past, you open yourself up to all the blessings that have been waiting for you. You free yourself from the weight that has been holding you down. You give yourself permission to move forward, to heal, to grow, and to experience life in a way you never have before. Too often, people miss out on the opportunities that could change their lives because they are too busy holding on to things that no longer serve them. They cling to old relationships, past failures, outdated mindsets, and unhealthy habits, thinking that they need to keep everything in their grasp. But what they don't realize is that when your hands are full, you don't have the capacity to receive anything new. Imagine someone standing in front of you trying to give you something valuable, but your hands are already overflowing with things you refuse to let go of. No matter how much they want to bless you, no matter how much they want to help you, you physically cannot take it. That's what happens when you refuse to let go of what no longer serves you. People often think they can have it both ways. They want to hold on to the past while stepping into the future. They want to cling to their comfort zone while reaching for new heights. They want to stay in unhealthy relationships while hoping for true love. But life doesn't work that way. You have to make room for what you want. You have to clear space for the blessings that are waiting for you. You have to be willing to release the things that no longer align with your purpose so that you can fully embrace what does. Holding on to too much at once creates stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. When you try to juggle everything, old commitments, past mistakes, negative emotions, toxic relationships, you end up stretching yourself so thin that you have no energy left for what really matters. You are distracted, drained, and weighed down by things that should have been left behind. And because of that, you don't have the focus or the clarity to see the opportunities that are right in front of you. Think about someone trying to climb a mountain while carrying a heavy backpack filled with unnecessary weight. Every step is harder, every movement is slower, and eventually they become so exhausted that they stop climbing altogether. But if they had let go of what they didn't need, if they had released the extra weight, they would have been able to move faster, climb higher, and reach their destination. That's exactly what happens in life. People wonder why they feel stuck, why they aren't making progress, why success seems so far away. But the truth is, they are carrying things that are holding them back. They are holding on to fear, doubt, resentment, and old failures. And all of it is keeping them from moving forward. There are people who hold on to past failures so tightly that they don't allow themselves to try again. They convince themselves that because they failed once, they will fail again. They let that one mistake define them. And instead of letting go, they hold on to it as proof that they are not good enough. But failure is only final if you refuse to let go of it. Every successful person has failed. Every great leader, entrepreneur, and athlete has experienced setbacks. The difference is that they didn't let those failures take up space in their hands. They released them, learned from them, and made room for the next opportunity. Some people hold on to toxic relationships because they are afraid of being alone. They settle for less than they deserve because they believe that something is better than nothing. But by doing that, they block the love that is truly meant for them. You cannot receive a healthy, fulfilling relationship if your hands are still gripping onto one that drains you. You cannot invite peace into your life if you are still entertaining chaos. You cannot attract someone who will treat you with love and respect if you are still holding on to someone who does the opposite. Letting go requires trust. It requires the belief that something better is coming, even when you don't see it yet. It requires faith that the space you create by releasing what no longer serves you will be filled with something far greater. But too many people don't trust the process. They fear the unknown. They fear that if they let go, nothing better will come, so they stay stuck. They hold on to what is familiar, and in doing so, they miss out on the very things they were meant to have. People hold onto limiting beliefs that tell them they aren't good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. They cling to old ways of thinking that no longer align with who they want to become. They hold on to excuses, telling themselves that they can't change, that they can't improve, that they can't succeed. But the moment they release those beliefs, the moment they open their minds to the possibility that they are capable of more, they create space for growth. They allow themselves to step into new opportunities, to embrace new experiences, and to become the person they were meant to be. Sometimes people hold on to control. They want to dictate every aspect of their lives. They want to plan every step, and they refuse to let things unfold naturally. But control is an illusion. The more you try to hold on to it, the more stressed and frustrated you become. True freedom comes when you let go of the need to control everything and allow life to bring you what is meant for you. When you surrender, when you release the need to know exactly how everything will happen, you make space for opportunities that you never could have planned for yourself. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. It takes courage to release what is familiar, to step into the unknown, to trust that something better is ahead. It takes wisdom to recognize when something no longer serves you, when it is time to move on, and when holding on is doing more harm than good. It takes faith to believe that by emptying your hands, you are making space for something far greater than you could ever imagine. Many people go through life carrying the weight of resentment, anger, and pain, believing that holding on to these emotions gives them power. They think that if they refuse to forgive, they are keeping control over a situation or punishing the person who hurt them. But the truth is, holding on to pain does not make you strong, it makes you a prisoner. The only way to truly reclaim your power and experience freedom is through forgiveness and release. People often misunderstand forgiveness. They believe that forgiving someone means excusing their actions or allowing them back into their lives. But forgiveness is not about them. It is about you. It is about choosing to release the burden of anger, bitterness, and resentment so that you can move forward. When you hold on to these emotions, you are the one who suffers. You are the one who carries the pain, who loses sleep, who replays the past over and over again. The person who hurt you may not even be thinking about what they did, but you are allowing it to live in your mind, taking up space that could be used for joy, peace, and growth. When you refuse to forgive, you chain yourself to the past. Every time you replay what happened, every time you hold on to resentment, you are keeping yourself tied to a moment that no longer exists. Life is moving forward, but you are stuck in the same place. And the longer you hold on to it, the heavier it becomes. What started as a single painful memory turns into years of anger, distrust, and negativity that affect every area of your life. Some people hold on to resentment because they believe it protects them. They think that if they keep their guard up, if they never let go of the hurt, they will never be vulnerable again. But what they don't realize is that by holding on to the past, they are building walls that keep out love, joy, and opportunities. They are closing themselves off from the very things that could bring them happiness. True strength is not in holding on to pain. It is in having the courage to let it go. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is not about allowing someone to walk all over you. It is about saying, I will not let what happened to me control me anymore. It is about taking back your power and deciding that you will not let one moment, one person, or one experience define the rest of your life. It is about understanding that your peace is more important than your pride. When you forgive, you free yourself. You release the burden that has been weighing you down. You stop allowing the past to dictate your future. You open yourself up to healing, to growth, and to new opportunities. You create space for better things to come into your life. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It does not mean allowing the same people to hurt you again. It means learning the lesson, setting boundaries, and moving forward without carrying the pain with you. It means choosing to rise above the situation instead of letting it consume you. It means refusing to let what happened turn you into a bitter, angry person. Some people think that if they forgive, they are letting the other person win. But what is the real victory? Holding on to pain and allowing it to affect your happiness, relationships, and mental health, or letting it go and choosing to live your life fully? The real victory is in your peace. It is in your ability to move forward without carrying the weight of the past. There is power in release. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you make room for what does. You create space for new blessings, new experiences, and new opportunities. You stop allowing past pain to dictate your decisions and start making choices based on your future. You free yourself from the chains of bitterness and step into a life of peace and purpose. Letting go does not mean the pain never existed. It means it no longer controls you. It means you are choosing to focus on what is ahead rather than what is behind. It means you are refusing to let one chapter of your life determine the rest of your story. It means you are reclaiming your power and choosing freedom over frustration. Some people struggle to forgive because they are waiting for an apology. They believe that they cannot let go until the other person acknowledges what they did. But the truth is, you may never get the apology you deserve. You may never hear the words you want to hear, but that should not stop you from moving forward. Forgiveness is not about them. It is about you. It is about choosing peace even when the other person does not acknowledge their wrongdoing. Holding on to resentment affects not only your mind, but also your body. Studies have shown that holding on to anger and bitterness increases stress, anxiety, and even physical pain. It affects your sleep, your energy levels, and your overall well-being. The longer you hold on to it, the more damage it does. Releasing that negativity does not just bring emotional freedom, it brings physical relief as well. People often find it easier to forgive others than to forgive themselves. They hold on to guilt, shame, and regret for things they did in the past, punishing themselves long after the mistake was made. But self-forgiveness is just as important as forgiving others. You cannot grow if you are constantly condemning yourself for who you used to be. You cannot move forward if you are still holding on to regret. You have to acknowledge your mistakes, learn from them, and then release them. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by how you rise from it. Letting go of guilt allows you to step into your full potential. It allows you to embrace the person you are becoming instead of staying stuck in who you used to be. It allows you to experience joy, success, and fulfillment without the constant weight of self-judgment. Releasing pain, resentment, and guilt does not happen overnight. It is a process. But every step you take toward letting go is a step toward freedom. Every time you choose peace over anger, every time you choose to move forward instead of looking back, you reclaim your power. Every time you decide to release what no longer serves you, you open the door to new blessings, new opportunities, and a life free from the weight of the past. Too many people say they want change, they want growth, they want something better for their lives, but when the time comes to release what no longer serves them, they hold on tighter. They pray for a new season, but refuse to let go of the old one. They dream of success, but won't release the habits, mindsets, and behaviors that are keeping them stuck. They talk about wanting more, but they're still clinging to less. Change requires space. Transformation requires room to grow. If you're holding on to everything that is familiar, if you're refusing to let go of things that are weighing you down, how can you possibly receive what is meant for you? You cannot walk into your future while being chained to your past. You cannot step into new opportunities if you're still attached to the ones that already expired. If you truly want to grow, if you truly want to elevate, you have to be willing to release. People fear letting go because it means stepping into the unknown. It means leaving behind comfort, familiarity, and sometimes even people who have been part of their journey. But what they don't realize is that comfort is the enemy of progress. The longer you stay in a place that no longer serves you, the more stagnant you become. The more you cling to things that are not aligned with your purpose, the harder it is to move forward. Imagine trying to climb a ladder while carrying a heavy suitcase in each hand. Every rung you try to grab is harder to reach. Every step you take is slower, more exhausting, more difficult, and at some point, you have to make a decision. Do you keep struggling with the weight, or do you drop the baggage so you can climb freely? That's exactly how life works. You cannot rise while holding on to things that are pulling you down. Some people want success but refuse to let go of a scarcity mindset. They say they want abundance, but they are still operating from a place of fear, afraid to take risks, afraid to believe in their own potential. They are stuck in old patterns, telling themselves the same limiting stories that keep them from moving forward. They hold on to doubt, onto insecurity, onto the belief that they are not enough. But success requires confidence. It requires faith. It requires stepping out of the mindset that has been keeping you small and embracing the belief that you are worthy of more. People say they want love, but they refuse to release the pain of their past relationships. They want something new, something healthy, something fulfilling, but they are still carrying the wounds, the heartbreak, the fear of being hurt again. They enter new relationships with the same baggage, the same trust issues, the same walls built so high that no one can truly get close to them. But love requires openness. It requires vulnerability. It requires the willingness to let go of what happened before so that you can fully embrace what is happening now. Some people hold onto friendships and relationships that have already served their purpose. They know deep down that certain people are no longer meant to be in their lives, that certain connections are holding them back, draining their energy or keeping them from growing. But they stay, they hold on out of loyalty, out of history, out of fear of being alone. They don't realize that by clinging to relationships that no longer serve them, they are blocking the right ones from entering their lives. The right people cannot come while the wrong ones still occupy space. Growth requires releasing those who are no longer aligned with where you are going. There are people who want to step into their purpose, but they won't release their old habits. They dream of being healthier, but they won't release the unhealthy lifestyle that is holding them back. They want to build discipline, but they won't let go of procrastination. They want to become the best version of themselves, but they are still holding on to excuses, distractions, and comfort. Real change does not happen until you are willing to sacrifice who you were for who you are becoming. Change is uncomfortable. Growth is painful. Releasing what no longer serves you will feel like a loss at first. But what feels like a loss is actually a gain. Every time you let go of something that is not meant for you, you are creating space for something that is. Every time you release something that has been weighing you down, you are setting yourself free. But the problem is, most people don't trust the process. They are afraid that if they let go, they won't receive anything better. They hold on because they are afraid of the unknown. But the unknown is where transformation happens. The unknown is where new opportunities exist. The unknown is where you discover what you are truly capable of. Think about a tree in the fall. The leaves start changing colors and eventually they fall to the ground. The tree doesn't try to hold on to them. It doesn't resist the process. It lets go because it knows that in order to grow, in order to bloom again in the spring, it has to release the old. It has to shed what is no longer needed so that it can make room for new life. And that's exactly how you have to approach your growth. You cannot bloom if you are still holding on to dead leaves. You cannot step into your next season if you are still clinging to the last one. Letting go is a process. It won't happen overnight, but every step you take, every piece of the past you release brings you closer to who you are meant to be. Every time you choose growth over comfort, faith over fear, and progress over stagnation, you are taking control of your life. Change does not happen by accident. It happens when you make a conscious decision to release what no longer serves you. It happens when you stop clinging to the past and start focusing on the future. It happens when you trust that by letting go, you are making space for something far greater than you could have ever imagined. One of the hardest lessons in life is realizing that not everything and everyone is meant to go with you on your journey. As you grow, as you evolve, as you step into new levels of success, purpose, and fulfillment, you will start to see that some things and some people simply cannot come with you. The things that once fit into your life will start to feel like dead weight. The people you once connected with will no longer align with where you are going. And if you are not careful, if you are too afraid to release what no longer serves you, you will find yourself stuck, held back by the very things you should have let go of. Growth comes with separation. It comes with shedding old versions of yourself, old ways of thinking, old environments, and sometimes even old friendships. It comes with stepping into a space where you no longer resonate with what once felt comfortable. And for a lot of people, that is terrifying. They don't want to outgrow the people around them. They don't want to feel like they're leaving others behind. But the truth is, not everyone is meant to go where you are going. Not everyone is meant to understand your vision. Not everyone is meant to support your growth. Some people are only meant to be part of a certain chapter of your story. They were there for a season, for a lesson, for a purpose, but that doesn't mean they are meant to stay forever. Too often, people try to hold on to relationships, friendships, and connections that have already run their course. They try to force people to grow with them, to elevate with them, to understand their new mindset. But you cannot force someone to grow if they are not ready. You cannot make someone see what they refuse to see. You cannot carry people who are not willing to walk on their own. There are some people in your life right now who are keeping you from reaching your full potential. Some people who, whether intentionally or unintentionally, are holding you back. Maybe it's the friend who always doubts your dreams, always tells you to play it safe, always questions why you are trying to be more. Maybe it's the person who constantly drains your energy, who fills your life with negativity. who doesn't support you but expects you to support them. Maybe it's the people who are comfortable staying in the same place and get uncomfortable when they see you trying to rise. If you are serious about growth, if you are serious about success, if you are serious about becoming the best version of yourself, you have to recognize that not everyone is meant to come with you. You have to be willing to release those who are keeping you stagnant. You have to be willing to distance yourself from those who don't align with your vision. You have to be strong enough to walk away from relationships that are no longer serving you, even if they once did. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean you don't care. It means that you are choosing yourself. It means that you are prioritizing your future. It means that you understand that some connections are temporary, that some people were only meant to be part of your journey for a short time, and that holding on to them out of fear, guilt, or obligation will only slow you down. Sometimes the hardest people to let go of are the ones who were once closest to us. The childhood friend we shared everything with, the family member who doesn't believe in our dreams, the person we once thought we would spend our entire lives with. But if someone is not adding to your growth, if they are not supporting your purpose, if they are making you doubt yourself more than they are pushing you forward, you have to ask yourself, are they really meant to be in my future? Some people are comfortable with who you used to be, not who you are becoming. They liked you when you were on their level. They were comfortable when you thought like them, acted like them, lived like them. But the moment you start thinking bigger, the moment you start moving differently, the moment you start elevating, they start pulling away, or worse, they start trying to pull you back. They start making you feel guilty for changing. They start questioning why you want more. They start reminding you of the past, trying to keep you tied to the old version of yourself because that version made them feel comfortable. You have to be strong enough to keep going anyway. You have to be bold enough to step into your next season, even if it means stepping away from certain people. You have to be focused enough on your vision that you refuse to let anyone distract you from it. Because the truth is, the right people will never feel threatened by your growth. The right people will celebrate your success. The right people will push you forward, not hold you back. Letting go is not just about people. It's also about habits, environments, and mindsets that no longer align with your purpose. You cannot step into a new level of success while carrying old habits that don't serve you. You cannot reach your highest potential while surrounding yourself with negativity, complacency, and mediocrity. You have to be willing to walk away from anything that is not in alignment with your goals. That means letting go of the distractions that are keeping you from your purpose, the endless scrolling, the toxic conversations, the time-wasting habits that add no value to your life. That means stepping away from environments that no longer serve you, the places that drain your energy, the spaces that make you feel small, the situations that keep you stuck. That means shifting your mindset from one of fear, doubt, and limitation to one of faith, confidence, and abundance. If you want to grow, you have to be intentional about what you allow into your life. You have to be conscious of who and what you give your energy to. You have to ask yourself, is this adding to my growth or is this holding me back? And if it's holding you back, you have to be strong enough to let it go. Too many people delay their blessings because they are afraid to release what is familiar. They stay in toxic relationships because they are afraid of being alone. They stay in unfulfilling jobs because they are afraid of uncertainty. They stay in the same place because they are afraid to take a step into the unknown. But what if the very thing you are afraid to let go of is the thing that is blocking your breakthrough? What if the people you are afraid to walk away from are the ones keeping you from your purpose? What if the life you are meant to have is waiting for you to release the things that no longer align with it?